Namaste, my name is Nikhilesh and I try to teach AI, generative AI and AI agents in a very simple language. So I have been getting lots of requests of building basic AI agent. So in this video, we'll learn how to build a AI search agent using Gemini 2.0 Flash. So let's understand two things here. One is what is an AI agent. So AI agent is when LLMs can actually use any tool, and that tool can be any external application. So let me give you the use case. So most LLMs are pre-trained models. That means they have a knowledge cutoff. So if you ask any current affair question, they might not able to answer it correctly because they were not trained on recent data. So that's a limitation of an LLM. How can we overcome this limitation? Can we give them access to Google search? So if it's a current affair question, they can actually access Google search using an API. They can find out the answer and then they can give it to us. And this is what exactly we'll be building. We'll be building an AI search agent. So we can use OpenAI's LLMs for building these agents, and we have done that. I can give the link of that as well. In this particular video, we'll be using Gemini 2.0 Flash. So it seems Gemini 2.0 Flash is specifically, or basically it works better when it comes to agentic AI tasks. So let's do this. So what we need to do, we first need to install Google Gemini. So and then we'll import Gen AI. Now we need Gemini API key in order to use that. So let me tell you how we can use that. So if what you need to do, you need to go to aistudio.google.com, and when you come here, you can click on get API key, and then you can see create API key. Then if you already have some existing projects, you can just select those projects and create an API key, or I think it will ask you to create a project. You can create that project and you can start. These API keys are for free with some limits, so you can see, right? So you can use this free of charge, but there are some limits. So this is good enough for you to get started with Gemini models. So now once you get the API key, what you need to do, you need to go here, add the name and then the API key here. So basically what we are doing, this is a key value pair. We'll be accessing the value of basically we're accessing the key using the value. So now whatever name you give here, you have to write the same thing here. Okay, so now what we are seeing, we have specified the Google API key, and then what we are building, we are saying we are creating a client passing that API key. Okay, now the model that we are using is Gemini 2.0 Flash. So we are specifying the model ID as Gemini 2.0 Flash. Now let's just call the model. So what I'm saying that client.models.generate_content, we are passing the model ID, and then we are asking please explain AI to a 10-year-old kid in 3 lines. You can add any prompt you want, and then we are just printing the responses. So let's run thing. Okay, I think I missed one cell model ID. So let me run that, and then let me run this. So now you can see it has given us the answer that imagine, so if you see, imagine teaching a computer to learn like you do. We give it lots of examples and it starts to recognize patterns and make smart guesses. That's basically AI, a computer learning to be clever. So I think that's a decent answer. Now, here is the catch. Now what we'll do, we'll ask who is the president of the US, and let's see what the answer we get. So now you can see, because it's a pre-trained model, there is a knowledge cutoff. The answer that we get is incorrect. Basically, the knowledge is outdated. So the answer that we get is president of the US is Joe Biden. And now we'll build an AI search agent that will access Google search through SERP API, and then can we get the right answer? Let's see this. So now what we are doing, we'll install Google Generative AI language, and then by using LangChain, we'll build this agent. Now, because we are using any third-party models, so we have to install LangChain community. Then we are saying LangChain, because we are using Google Gemini, we have to use that. For OpenAI, we install LangChain OpenAI. And then because we'll be accessing Google search results, we are installing these things. So now let's install all these things. And from agents, we'll import tools. Tool would be our Google search. And then we want to initialize the agent. So we'll import initialize agent. And then we import chat Google Generative AI. And then user data for basically accessing our API keys in Google Colab. So let's run those things. Now we need two API keys. One, obviously, Gemini API key. That's the same that we have done. And second, we need SERP API key. How do you get SERP API key? You need to just search SERP API key. And if you come here, you just have to sign in with your Gmail ID. It will provide you the next screen that you will get would be an API key only. So you have to copy that API key, and then you have to come here and you have to paste the value here. Add any name. You can keep any name, but whatever name you give, you have to give the same name here. Okay. So now let's access both these API keys. And now what we are saying, we are initializing model. We are saying Gemini 2.0 Flash and temperature equals to 0. Temperature, I think we have already discussed. More the temperature, more creative the model would be. So if you want a factual answer, keep temperature as 0. But if you want model to be creative, then keep a higher value of temperature. Like if you want model to write a poem, then make it 1. So let's run this. Now what we are doing, we have to specify a tool. So we have specified a LLM. So this would be our LLM. It can basically access this tool, which is your SERP API. And now we'll initialize an agent. For that, we'll pass the tools, we'll pass the LLM, and then we are also saying verbose equals to true. Verbose equals to true means that basically we'll understand how the agent is thinking. It is also known as inner monologue, how agent is thinking, how agent is actually accessing the tool. So we'll come to know that. And now let's access who is the president of the US. So the answer which we get is Donald Trump is the current president of the United States. So we got the right answer. But now check here. What we are saying here, that how agent is thinking. I need to find out who the current president of the United States is. I can use a search engine to get this information. Earlier the model was the same Gemini 2.0 Flash, but it gave the answer based on its own knowledge. Now the agent is thinking that I can actually use a search engine to get this information. I might not have that information. and then what it has decided that the action is search, and for that search what would be the action input, who is the president of the United States. So it has accessed Google, it has searched who is the president of the United States, and then from this URL CNN, it has got something that search results are about Trump's first 100 days, which means they are outdated, I need to refine. And then maybe, so it self-reflected that, you know, the answer that agent got from this URL might not be the correct. So it's saying, you know, the result, I need to update the search result. So now if you think, basically if you see, it has changed the action input. Now it is decided that it will search current president of the United States, and then it, based on that, it got the Donald J. Trump, President of United States, J.D. Vance, Vice President, and here it got that the search results indicate that Donald Trump is the current President of the United States, serving as both the 45th and 47th President. So from here, it got the information, and then basically it, you know, generated the answer for us. So this is a basic search AI agent for you. I hope you understand. Now you understood how the agents work. So, and if you want to check out other kinds of agents, you can check out other videos, and in the next video I'll bring something more interesting. Thanks. Bye.